Tarisha, thanks for taking the time to meet with us today. I'm Carmela, and Colton is here with me. We are dementia friendly champions working with the Rett Alzheimer's Disease Center and conducting interviews to learn more about your involvement, experience, passions, and needs as a dementia friend and your community. Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Tarisha Washington.
And what is your connection to the dementia friendly community?
I am currently a technical lead for Rush University, and I'm also a Dementia Friends champion. And I have worked in communities and given presentations in Austin, Washington Heights, and Inglewood.
Thank you. Okay. And what got you involved or interested in being part of this community?
I think it's a two-part answer for that. One, obviously, is part of the work that I do at Rush. But the second part, which motivated me to venture out a little bit more into the community, is I have two grandparents who were diagnosed with Alzheimer's in the last 10 years, one who recently passed. So being able to go out in the community to give more information has been very helpful for me and my family.
Can you tell me a little bit about the community that you serve specifically, or one of the few that you maybe did talks at?
As technical lead, I get to work with a few, but the ones that I do the talks in, they are Chicago-based neighborhoods, Austin, Inglewood, Washington Heights, and Pullman, which are all South Side communities, and Austin, which is the West Side community.
Okay, maybe we can focus on Inglewood. Is there a goal that you have for your community, or can you describe the dementia friendly presence in that community?
That one is the newest community. Our goal is to have that community be declared dementia friendly. Where we're at in the process is organizing a task force that will take on some of the responsibilities of spearheading other dementia friendly efforts. The overall goal for me and the community partner there is to create a task force, which is the next thing on our agenda, and then invite other community members to become champions, finally be declared dementia friendly Inglewood.
Awesome. Okay. So since you're working towards that goal, is there something that you would like others in your community to know regarding dementia friendly involvement? Is there a way that people can get involved, a phone number or website perhaps?
Yes, people can call the Brush Hotline number, the ICRN website that has so much information regarding dementia friendly, dementia friends, and also just other useful information for the people with dementia and caregivers. What I want people to know is that every little bit helps. And so just by talking to someone or just reading the information yourself helps to raise the awareness.
Okay, thank you. What does it mean to you to be a dementia friend?
I would say that it means contributing to I don't want to use the word burden, but dementia, Alzheimer's, and other forms of dementia can feel like a burden to a family and a community if you don't have the proper resources in place. It is a very difficult journey to go through as a family and a community. So being a part of this effort has given me a sense of that I'm kind of helping contribute to that support system that you want to build out for your family and your community.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Can you tell me something you find rewarding about being involved?
I just feel like I am a part of the effort before, just part of the work that I was doing. But once I got to talk to people directly and hear their stories about just how learning where resources are in their own community was helpful, it's quite rewarding. I didn't know that people felt so alienated through this journey. Being in research, sometimes I think we're kind of separated from the people. So this particular project has allowed me to be back in the community and understanding that people do have their challenges and also success stories. You get to hear what's working in some communities and we share those practices elsewhere. So it's just been, just being a part of a movement that's been very helpful and we hope it continues to grow.
It's awesome that you're getting to connect those and be part of your community in that way. What things in your community do you see as the greatest hindrance to making the community dementia friendly?
Sometimes it depended on the community. People may have the extra time or the extra resources to start this work. So what we try to do is to let people know that sometimes you may already be doing this work and efforts to become dementia friendly, and you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. But we have experienced, especially coming out of quarantine, that there's so much burnout that people are just not interested in adding anything else to their plate. So I would say that would probably be the biggest hindrance, that people just are overwhelmed because there are so many other things that people are concerned about that sometimes this is just not a priority. But there are so many people in their community that either have dementia or some type of cognitive decline, or as a caregiver, we can't continue to keep pushing it back.
Hi, Tarisha. My name is Colton. I'm one of the other interviewers on this call. So, you talked about some of the burnout as a hindrance to becoming a dementia friend. Do you have any suggestions on how you might be able to amend or make things a little bit better for the community or make it easier to become a dementia friend or champion?
I would say what I've tried to do is, in the initial meeting, I ask people what they're already doing. And then the other community members and task force members rally around that event to try to grow the event or try to expand it or make it better. That way, you're not going at the event alone. You have more manpower, you have more resources. In some events, you may even have more funding for your event that's already existing. You work in silos in communities. So what one person is doing, sometimes another organization doesn't even know what they're doing. What's already happening? How can we join forces to make it better? And how can we get the word out? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what do you need? There are a lot of programs and services that communities offer, but each individual community is different. Another community wanted training for police officers so they'll know what to do for wanderers. Another community wanted activities that they can do with their loved one in the home. So you have to ask them, what are you seeing in your community and what can we do to address that problem? Then kind of rally around that and make that your individual effort. That way it still work, but it doesn't feel as daunting as, okay, let's come up with, 5 programs we're going to do this year. It's very intentional work. It's work that's already being done sometimes. And then if it's not already being done, it's work that they may want to address at some point. That's the approach we've been taking. It's been successful in some communities, others, just depends again on capacity.
I like the individualistic approach to a community area. And you mostly answered our next question, which would be what would you typically recommend to others that want to make their communities more dementia friendly? You talked about meeting them where they are, asking them what their needs and wants are. Have there been communities that are interested, or maybe they're actually completely opposed to the idea? And have there been any like carrots that you can offer them, like free resources that really kind of push them over the fence or suddenly get them more interested in dementia friendly?
Well, my answer is going to be different from other champions. As technical leads, we offer our grant to communities so they don't have to. Because another hindrance you could add to the previous question is funding. Just small meetings where people have to get coffee, donuts, or if they want to print paper, whatever, that has to come from someone's budget. If you have no budget, then that becomes an issue. So we provide a small grant to help alleviate some of that pressure. So that's one thing that we've offered to help. The other part is Susan and I, we try to go out into communities and help organize. This is another way my answer will be different from other people. We go to meetings, we try to share the stories of other people so they can get an idea. And we don't want to recreate what another community is doing exactly, but we just give them ideas of how to organize it. And then once they get the ball rolling a little bit, then we're able to kind of exit once they're getting their footing. So those are the things that we do. And if I would say it just as a champion, just overall to try to get people involved. One of my partners, that's the community lead in Inglewood, she is just very adamant about emailing, calling, sharing information. She attends other people events because she really wants the involvement. So she's establishing great relationships. So our official task force meeting is in 2 weeks. So she's getting that build up so people are interested and she's building a relationship that addresses what she needs, but she's also in the process of establishing those relationships and giving other organizations what they need as well. So she's building partnerships. I think that is one of the best ways to ensure a dementia friendly community is that you have real buy in. So we talk about everything at the police meeting that we had probably like 6 months ago. We talked about dementia friendly. We talked about school. We talked about health. We talked about walking. Like it was holistic. We looked at Inglewood from a holistic standpoint. It wasn't just dementia. It was everything that was going on in Inglewood. And Ms. Thompson is the person who's leading those efforts. So I would say just being a true community partner, not just for what you're looking to accomplish.
Those are all a lot of really great suggestions and stories, and I really like hearing the experience behind it. Has there been any one single successful method that you feel like has won over the most communities, or is it kind of like what you were mentioning before, where everybody needs a little something different and all of these communities are pretty individualistic?
Yeah, they're pretty different, but there is, and I think Susan may be able to help more with this case where we had we pulled and I don't know if it was you guys, another group of students, they pulled the partners. So the application has you put down, you have to have 3 sectors in your community. And we pull like the top 3 sectors, like that were in communities. And libraries have been a huge partner in almost all of the communities. They've either been one of the 3 partners or they've been involved in some form or fashion. So library just seems to be as crazy as it is. I know a lot of people feel like libraries are kind of like outdated, but they seem to be a huge source of support for people with dementia and their caregivers, whether it is programming, whether it is a place to store, information for dementia. West Inglewood Library agreed to allow us to put information in a library for people with dementia and their caregivers. So they just seem to be a very consistent partner throughout all the communities. But other than that, I think just addressing communities as individual communities versus just having a blanket approach has been why we've been able to keep the numbers going up, because we never know what we're going to get going into a community. And for me, I don't even try to assume anymore because it's been so different in everyone.
It sounds like there's definitely some key resources that are available in a lot of different communities, no matter how unique they are, especially those libraries that are still hanging around.
Exactly.
All right, well, that concludes our interview. We really look forward to interviewing many more dementia friendly champions.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.